certainty of death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
Fellas, I feel this is my lucky day.
Brilliant.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Rankum. This is kind of going to be a fun one today, but I mean, it's also in honor of a past actor, Liotta. But we've got a great people here. Over here, we've got Brian. Brian, how's it going?
It's great to be back at Rankum, and let's see how long until we get to the notifications which you get. Is there echo going on or something?
Someone's got an echo.
There is a bit of echo somewhere. Richie, is he also here? How's it going?
Yeah, no, going not too bad. It was almost like I was here last week. But here again. We've Ray Liotta movies. I've seen a few. So yes, there's some that are obvious that are going to be on here. Some that I'd like to champion. So it'll be a good fun time.
Yeah, we've also got Jonathan here. Jonathan, how's it going?
Very good, Malcolm. Very good. Like Richie has said, basically there are some obvious. I have seen a couple of radio of his films, and basically he is, I would say, maybe most underrated or maybe unappreciated actors we ever had the last 30 years. Basically, if you really look, if you're looking for his filmography, and along with that, and I'm very intrigued and very interested in how much of films that we talked about. So I'm very not only talk about his films, but honor him along with that.
And last but not least, we got Stephen here. Stephen, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going well.
It goes from you. You're the culprit.
I wasn't talking before, though.
Well, I don't know then. Disregard what I said.
I mean, Nico's gone now anyway, so.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
Well, yeah. So on Letterboxd, I actually ranked all of the movies I'd seen.
Except for yours.
Muted.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a live show without technical difficulties. But while Stephen's sorting that out, I'll go over what the poll thought about 80s action movies from last week. So the number one equal, they Die Hard and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Then Aliens was the RoboCop came in at 4th. The Terminator came in at 5th. Predator at 6th. Penalty Horse Cop. Then Top Gun, Police Story tied at 8. Big Trouble in Little China and Escape from New York tied at 10. And Lethal Weapon 2 just didn't get a lot of love of the fans. Ended up at 12. But how the show works is we're going to go around and nominate a Ray Liotta movie we think belongs on the top 12 list. And then if the majority of the panel says yes or no to it, then it will make the list if it gets majority. Brian, we go to you first. What is the first movie you're going to bring up?
The first film I'm going to bring up is one of my favorite ones of his is his performance in Quinta as a mad singer. His performance is great as a real father, and his chemistry with his daughter, and also Whoopi Goldberg's character Quinta as well. Like the chemistry is on point, and so nominate Quinta.
Richie, what do you say about Quinta?
Have not seen it, so I have to abstain.
Jonathan, what do you say about Quinta?
This is the one few Liotta films I have not seen, so I'm gonna pass on that one. I'm sorry.
Stephen, what do you say about Quinta?
Yeah, sorry. I haven't seen it.
Going off for a great start.
Yeah, because I also have not seen it. Richie, we go to you next.
Oh well, might as well get I mean, if you haven't seen this one, we're in trouble. I'll just bring up the obvious one. Goodfellas. It's one of the best mob movies of all time. It's one of his best performances as Henry Hill. He's amazing in it. Like when he passed, this is the one thing they kept talking about. And it's one of the, like I said, one of the best gangster movies, one of the best mob movies of all time. And yeah, it deserves to be on this list. Probably high. It's one of the obvious ones, but I'll get it out there. I'll get it out of the way early. So, Goodfellas.
Jonathan, what do you say about Goodfellas?
Let me tell you guys this. So as I can remember, always wanted to be a movie reviewer. This one gets a yes for me. I love this movie. I love Goodfellas, and he's basically synonymous for that movie for a reason, and a good reason for that. He plays so well. We look through Henry Hill throughout the movie, throughout narration, throughout following him almost all the movie, and basically throughout his mannerisms and delivery along with it when you interact with scenes with Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Lorraine Bracco, pretty much people around him, and he plays it very well in this movie. And also, I kind of wish around that time he could have been sort of like, kind of like his Scorsese's muse, kind of like what he has with Leo Robert De Niro. I kind of wish he was in more Scorsese films, so it's kind of like he worked very well with Scorsese in that movie, and I felt like I wish we could have at least more of them, but at least we have Goodfellas and we show the greatness of it. So I'll say yes to Goodfellas.
Stephen, what do you say about Goodfellas?
Haven't seen it. Just kidding.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah.
No, it's obviously a great movie. The scenes where he's like paranoid about a helicopter following him, those scenes are especially great. Yeah, it's definitely one of his top 3 movies for me.
Goodfellas is easy. I was also going to make that joke about not having seen it, but Stephen beat me to it. I mean, this is the only one that, as soon as Top of Value Movies was announced, someone left a comment going, "If Goodfellas does not make this list."
Let me guess. You pull one of them might pull a Tommy DeVito on you, just stab you in the trunk a couple more times, they shoot and they're buried somehow in Zombie Tar Park in Jersey around here. So if you don't put it on there.
Probably something like that, but
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, this is easily yes for me. Brian, what would you have said about Goodfellas?
Funny the clown, funny Joker. Goodfellas easy yes for me. I'm surprised this performance he didn't win an Oscar for how great the performance he has. And also you can tell this film's more beloved with even the parody it did with Animaniacs with the parody of Goodfellas as well.
Yep. But Jonathan, what is the first movie you're going to bring up?
I'm going to actually actually my low key favorite film of his. So it's a kind of very underrated film from 1994. It's an underrated action film called No Escape. No Escape. It's directed by Martin Campbell, who later go on to GoldenEye, The Mask of Zorro, and Casino Royale. And this is actually very interesting for him around the career around this time. Fresh, I like Goodfellas and all of her entry along with that. Like he decided to try to do more like an action lead, which he never done before that, or even maybe one that just says afterwards. So it's very interesting to him to do this film along with it. It's sort of a science fiction film along with it. It's sort of like basically, and you know, funny enough, what year did this movie take place? You want to guess? 2022. Funny thing about that, we're in 2022, and kind of sort of what happened. But anyway, the film itself is actually very good, though. If you're a fan of some nice action flick, just kind of rent it out and watch it right here. I recommend No Escape on it. And it's a kind of shows a very good as an action lead. We don't view it as more of an action lead type of actor like your Stallone's or Arnold's or even John Claude Van Damme, basically. He's actually played a little refreshing around that time. So I'll nominate No Escape.
Stephen, what do you say about No Escape?
Yeah, it's on my list. I haven't seen it in a while, but I've but I enjoy it immensely.
Yeah. It's all right. It's not that distracting. It only really happens when you talk, so that's fine. But yeah, but yeah. So sorry, I cut you off. Was that a yes to no escape?
Oh yeah, definitely yes.
Yeah, just checking. But yeah, apparently I've only seen 14 Ray Liotta movies. At least 2 I just don't want. I don't want to nominate. But I have not seen No Escape. So yeah. Brian, what do you say about No Escape?
Same here. Haven't seen it.
Richie, it falls on you.
I have actually. It's been ages. Early Martin Campbell film, right? Yeah, and I think it's decent. Look, I don't remember a lot of it, but like just because like I'll say yes, but I think he's in the bottom of the 12. So I'll say yeah. Like I think it's a shows him he's an action guy. So I'll say yes.
Stephen, we go to you next. What's your first nomination?
I'll go with Identity.
We can't hear you.
You might need to turn down.
Hello.
You might.
I can hear you, Josh. I know what you said.
I heard Danny.
Identity.
Can't hear you
Okay,
now.
okay, hear you.
No, you're completely muted. Give me the.
Now?
Yeah,
That was
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Yeah, Identity is a great hard slasher flick. Then it turns into a really cool psychological thriller, and it's always been a favorite of mine. And Ray Liotta's playing a type, but he's great in it. And I won't go into it any more than that because what's great about it is spoilers. But but yeah, I absolutely love it.
Yeah, this one is really hard to talk about without spoilers because there's a lot of big major spoilers that we can say about this. But yeah, Identity is great. I really do like Ray Liotta in this. I really watched this specifically for this. And yeah, so it's an easy yes for me. Brian, what do you say about Identity?
I agree. It's a very good performance by Ray Liotta, so it's a yes for me.
Richie, what do you say about Identity?
Yeah, I watched. Stephen talks about this movie a lot, and then yeah,
It's
like
top 64 as well.
in tournament fights, and then like in tier anchor and whenever, and I just never got around to it. But I have got I did until recently. I got around to it recently, probably in the last few months, and I really enjoyed it. It's also an adaptation of an Agatha Christie novel, right? And then there were none. And yeah, I don't want to get into it. Twists and turns, a great. Ray Liotta's great in it. It features a lot of actors that I don't see much anymore, like Amanda Peet. What happened? Where are you? No, but it's a really good. It's a really good film, and yeah, I would say yes.
And Jonathan, what would you have said about Identity?
This is one of the Ray Liotta films I actually watched a few days ago before we start the show, actually. And it's on Netflix right now. And honestly, I was a little surprised with this movie because I kind of never heard of it. And I looked it through. It's like, and I didn't even know James Mangold actually directed this movie. It's like, huh, I've seen most of his films, but I've never seen this one. So I give it a watch and it's like, huh, I actually like this movie more than I thought I was going to be. So for that alone, I was like, I'll give it yes for Identity.
There might be another James Mangold movie that gets brought up later.
I know the one you're referring to.
But yeah, the last thing Amanda Peet acted in was in a TV series called Dirty John.
And she
was
actually
directed-
just signed on for a Fatal Attraction series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her last movie was in 2015 with Sleeping with Other People.
I know she's married to one of the Game of Thrones writers. I'm pretty sure, But yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
David Benioff or just other guy?
I can't remember. I just know it's one of them.
Yeah, I didn't go that far in, but anyway, for my first movie, there's I'll leave one because I think it's gonna come back round to me to forget that one in there. I'm gonna go for one that he was in that. I don't know how this is going to go, which is why it's going to be my first one. I'm bringing up Hubie Halloween. Look, when it comes to Adam Sandler, he's either hit or miss. This is one that, like, well, yes, it's not really a ha funny comedy, but it's one of those ones. If you look at it as like a horror movie type thing, that's not meant to be a comedy, I think it actually works. And I think, if you're talking about Ray Liotta's performances, I think his performance in Hubie Halloween is actually pretty good. So yeah, I'm bringing up Hubie Halloween. I do not know how this is going to go. Brian, what do you say about it?
Yeah, for me, Hubie Howie's Alan Sandler's best comedy for Netflix, and for the performance, I quite enjoyed the performance that a lot for him. So it's a yes for me.
Richie, what do you say about Hubie Halloween?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Like, I understand it's probably one of the better ones. It's still, in my opinion, not great. So I can't do it, man. I've got to say no. It's not really. I think there's other performances that should be on this list beyond that one. So yeah, I'm gonna say no.
Jonathan, what do you say about Hubie Halloween?
I actually seen it like about 2 years ago. Actually, I actually watched it before. It was during my I was sort of getting better from the hospital 2 years ago. So basically, I was kind of watching right here, just sort of relaxing, and I actually. Well, it's not great. I'll be more honest with that. At least I had some chuckles at some moments I hear, and he's one of the parts of actually laugh at it. So I don't know is gonna pile into some list, but I'll get a tentative yes on that. So just temporarily.
Hubie Halloween makes this list. Stephen, what
Oh
would
my
you have said about
God.
Hubie Halloween?
Why?
I have not seen any of Adam Sandler's Netflix stuff.
Because you're saying it.
For the stand-up special.
um,
No
But
way. We're gonna
anyway,
get chat. We are gonna get absolutely destroyed. Anyway, cool.
Okay.
I mean, you sum up a standard week in the when I put that up on the poll for rank. To be
I mean, does he have a big part or is it a small part?
it's relatively small, but I mean it's not a cameo. It's more of a supporting role.
It's more like more on the townspeople throughout it, basically. It's sort of kind
Yeah.
of bullies Sandler's character throughout the film, basically.
But yeah, Brian, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
For me, my next pick, I'm bringing up his role in Field of Dreams as Shooter Joe Jackson. I would say this is a great performance from him as a disgraced baseball player, and I'm going to bring up Field of Dreams.
Richie, what do you say about Field of Dreams?
I mean, yeah, this was the other obvious one. I feel like we have to have this on this list. Yeah, it's one of his own more iconic performances. So yeah, eventually, man, I'm going to be more harsh and say no, but I can't say no on this one. So I'll say yeah.
Jonathan, what do you say about Field of Dreams?
Yes, it definitely is. It's one of these movies that this is actually people's first Dutch Radio is a year before Goodfellas, and if you saw this movie back then and watch a year later, they were really two different characters, and he plays like basically like a more self version very well, and it's just something we rarely see from most of him. If you look through his filmography, he plays a little subtle and basically more of a quieter right here, Joe Jackson, and the rest of the film itself is really fantastic and basically, and I always wanted to go to that baseball field when they shot the movie so I can maybe. And then currently, right now, like Major League Baseball has some annual games based around that movie, so I will give it a yes for Field of Dreams.
Stephen, what do you say about Field of Dreams?
haven't seen it. Just kidding. Yeah, no,
You
this
can't
is.
do that twice. You can't pull that twice. That'll work.
You can't watch the
Oh,
first time. I don't think you should do it twice again. Just saying.
I probably won't do it
It happened
again.
the third time.
I probably won't do it again. I was just doing it for Goodfellas and Field of Dreams because those are the two, big ones. But it's definitely a yes for me. I mean, I guess this is a spoiler alert. It's my favorite movie of his.
That Field of Dreams does make this list. I actually haven't seen this.
Oh, really? Okay.
And it's not a joke either, right?
It's not a joke. This is one of those ones I tried to find for this. It's just not streaming anywhere for me, and I actually couldn't find it at the library on DVD either. So yeah,
Wait, do you guys get Prime Video?
Yeah, but
it's
I
not
do.
on. It's not on Amazon Prime for me.
Yeah.
It's
Do
not
you
on-
try?
otherwise-
Did you try it on Peacock though?
We don't have Peacock.
You don't have it on New Zealand.
Yeah, the problem is like some Amazon and some like the libraries aren't universal, so like if what's on Amazon there, it's not going to be on Amazon here. So yeah, it's not. Yeah.
I mean, even Disney Plus, like we've had things come on Disney Plus
That aren't Disney.
earlier than you guys.
The same here in Canada too.
Yeah. But Richie, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
All right. I'm going to bring up. Maybe I'm surprised he didn't get nominated for an Oscar considering the a few other people did. And it was Oscar nominated movie. He was great in this back and forth with Laura Dern. I'm going to go Marriage Story. I think Marriage Story is a great movie. And yeah, I think he's one of the standouts in it. Even though, again, I feel like he should have been more recognized. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic film about and just and I think it should be on this list. So, Marriage Story.
Jonathan, what do you say about Marriage Story?
I actually seen this once, and I still like the movie, and I keep forgetting he's in that film the more I think about it. And all I remember is actually very good in the film. It's actually good back and forth, but for the sake of the list, I will give it a yes for that.
Stephen, what do you say about Marriage Story?
It's definitely a yes. It's a great movie. Liotta is great in it. This
is one that it did go down a little bit for me, like in terms of rating when I rewatched this. But that being said, I still love Marriage Story. I think Ray Liotta is great in this, and I think it's one of those ones that I think I think 2019 was a very competitive year when it comes to the Oscars, and I think Ray Liotta would have been like maybe the 6th or 7th up there when it comes to supporting actors. I think it was a really stacked year. But yeah, it's an easy yes for me. Brian, what do you say about Marriage Story?
I'll give it a yes. He stole all the scenes he was in. So yes for me.
All right, and we're halfway there. Jonathan,
Living on a Prayer.
23 minutes in.
Jonathan, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
I'm going to have to pick from a movie from last year, actually, from 2021, and actually he plays like 2 roles, actually. I'm actually going to pick, I still think the film itself is okay or good for the most part, and I'm just felt like his scenes for both of them is actually very great in the film. I'm actually going to pick The Many Sins of Newark. The Sopranos prequel actually took place around the 1960s, and he plays like I mentioned, played 2 characters. Like one, he plays Mr. Massane's father, like not Chris Montasante, his father basically in the beginning of the film, and which sort of a little spoilish along with it. He kills him along with it throughout the film, but I'll be honest, I saw the first trailer of it basically, and I thought it was the same character when we saw it in jail. It turns out there was a twin, basically. He is sort of a brother in jail, plays a very different character along with it. And actually, one of the best parts of the film is basically like when he sort of gives advice to Alicante, like kind of like don't see Tony at all, and it's like his response like, "But what have I know? I'm a murderer," basically, along with that, and which I also find funny because like little known fun fact with Liotta and The Sopranos, like he was auditioned to play Tony Soprano back in 1999. Basically, like allegedly he came close to it to getting the part. So I still found it's a little fitting, look, come in circle to be in this movie along with it. Like, parts of the part with the movie was good, serviceable for the most part, but he was one of the standouts I found. So I'll nominate Many Saints of Newark.
Stephen, what do you say about the Many Saints of Newark?
So I have never seen a single episode of The Sopranos. So because of that, I kind of wanted to see that show before I watched the movie. So I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, I'm actually in the same way. Like, I've never seen The Sopranos. I was considering watching the movie because I think I don't know if you need to have seen the show to appreciate the movie, considering the movie is a prequel. But I still chose not to watch it because of that reason. I do intend on going into watching Sopranos eventually. Brian, what do you say about the Many Saints of Newark?
I haven't seen it yet, so I give it a no.
Richie, what do you say about Many Saints of Newark?
Man. I wish I had seen it because I think it probably deserves the list more than Hubie Halloween. Yes, I'm going to die on that hill. I'm going to keep fucking mentioning that. Fucking, yeah. I'm not responsible for anyway. I think I'm in the same boat in the sense that like I've seen some of Sopranos, just not enough for me to sort of fully grasp this movie. So,
well, basically, I will say this about the film though. I don't think you don't need to see the show, some episodes of the show, to enjoy the film though. Most majority is just sort of Monsante's father and Tony's father throughout along with that. So essentially, even characters they don't appear in the show later on. So I think you can still enjoy the film even you haven't seen a single episode of the show. So that's my advice.
All right, well, yeah, I'll get around to it, but the crux of the matter is I haven't seen it. I can't vote for it.
And also, by the way, Gandolfini's son portrayed his like father in the film. Looks identical like him. Like go watch like pictures of it. Like it felt like they back in time to get the young Gandolfini and put in the film. It's uncanny. Like I'm not even joking on that one.
I mean, that's probably why they cast him. I think the young Gandolfini is his son. So yeah.
Yeah.
But that being said, Stephen, what is your next nomination?
You know what? I'm going to go for a movie that I wouldn't be surprised if no one else has seen as well. In the mid-90s, he did this really cool sci-fi thriller called Unforgettable, which I enjoy a lot, and he's great. Linda Fiorentino co-stars with him, and he plays a guy whose wife is murdered, and they think he did it, but he was never convicted of it. And then Linda Fiorentino's got this experimental drug that can allow you to experience the last memories of someone before they died. So he tries to use that to find the guy who killed his wife.
What's the name of the movie? Sorry.
Oh, it's Unforgettable.
Unforgettable. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Brian, what do you say about Unforgettable?
Haven't seen it.
Richie.
Hat trick. Haven't seen it.
Jonathan.
I'm sorry, I had to. No, I hadn't seen it either. So those are the ones I missed out. I'm sorry.
I figured that was a lot of people probably haven't seen it.
But yeah, for my next movie, it's I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm going to go for a Johnny Depp movie from the early 2000s. I'm going for Blow. This is such an interesting movie that I watched especially for this because Johnny Depp plays a drug just make sure I've got this right. He plays a drug smuggler and all that. But yeah, he meets a bunch of people. Ray Liotta plays a character called Fred. But it's got a whole bunch of great cast names like New Zealand's own Cliff Curtis plays Pablo Escobar. Bobcat Goldthwait plays Mr. T. I don't think it's that Mr. T, but it's a character called his character's name is Mr. T in this movie. But it's a fun movie, and I think this is really good. And yeah, Brian, what do you say about Blow?
I agree with this pick. It's one of Radio's best performances. He's a great father to Johnny Depp, and it's also one of Johnny Depp's best films on this timing based on the trial. So yeah. So look, I agree. Yes.
Richie, what do you say about Blow?
Yeah, I do like this movie. I think it's underrated. If you watch like Bobcat Goldthwait stand up, and you can't stand up. He has a great story about working this film. And actually because of that stand up, because of that stand up set, that remembering that stand up set, remembering that bit, I got this question right. I'm the only person that got this right in the trivia match. Yeah. So thanks Bobcat Goldthwait. But yeah. This movie is great. And I think it's definitely it's definitely an easier yes than Hubie Halloween. Yep, gonna keep saying it. Blow. Yeah, but yeah.
Jonathan, what do you say about Blow?
Okay, first on mine is it okay? Not okay. Before I went to Blow, I just want to say mine's a tentative yes on that one. I just want to make that clear. It's not saying I had to pick a little easy one to begin with, so I just want to get that part out of the way. And all right, back to Blow. Not really Blow, but all right. The movie itself, I will give it a yes though. Like I do agree with Brian said. He plays a great father figure around with Johnny Depp's character in Blow, and that was one of the Depp's early great performances around that time. Basically, this is before he went blockbuster mode with pirates, all that stuff, and basically, and it's a very good movie. It does have a similar like Boogie Nights and other films around that years before it, but still a solid movie regardless. So I will give it a yes to Blow.
Stephen, what do you say about Blow?
I mean, I don't know if I would say it's an early Johnny Depp performance because Depp is.
I think early on before blockbuster, basically.
Well, I mean, I said early 2000s.
Early 2000s. I meant to say that, but partially, my bad.
Partially,
my bad on my part.
Yeah, Ray Liotta tends to play a lot of harder edged characters, and he's actually plays a fairly tender character in this, so it's a nice change of pace for him. And because he's a loving father, he is kind of disappointed in, I'm sure, in the fact that his son has become a drug dealer, but he still loves his son, and is still there for him. It's definitely a yes for Blow. It's one of his best movies for sure.
Also, I'm surprised to find out that Johnny Depp wasn't nominated for an Oscar for it. His first nomination was for Pirates of the Caribbean, I believe. Brian, what do you say about?
I already picked.
What's your next nomination? Is what I meant to say.
Yeah, for me, my next pick is high underrated role from him is Youth and Revolt. He's not there for that long, but his scenes with Michael Cera and the mother, I'm not sure who played by, but he's great. Like in the role investigating like the fire that Michael Cera did, and I gotta go. And love the camera, love his role. So Youth and Revolt.
What's the movie? Sorry,
Youth and Revolt.
Youth and Revolt.
Oh, Youth and Revolt. Richie, what do you say about Youth and Revolt?
I do like the movie. It's a weird movie. It's weird, but and I think people are rating it. I just I don't. Here's the thing. It's probably I don't think Ray Liotta's great, but I don't think he's in enough to make the top 12 list. That's all I'm saying. I think like there's sort of better performances where he shines more that we're going to talk about. So I'm going to say no, but I like the movie.
Jonathan, what do you say about Youth and Revolt?
I hadn't seen it, so I'll get a tentative no.
Stephen.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, and I honestly remember thinking it was kind of boring. And I need to rewatch it, but I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I haven't seen this. So yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't make this list.
Just give it a shot. So
That's all you can do, really. Richie, what's your next nomination?
Well, I mean, there's probably gonna be like a trend here, like where I think like Ray Liotta shines in more like your crime drama centric films because I think he's just we're typecast for it since Goodfellas. There's the reason he's really good in it, and one of the ones he's really good in, I still think it's underrated, is The Place Beyond the Pines. I think this movie is great. This movie's fantastic. He plays a detective, but yeah, it's a stellar cast from Gosling, Rose Byrne, Dean DeHaan, Bradley Cooper. Yeah, like he stands out, and he's just a fantastic presence. So I could go Place Beyond the Pines.
Jonathan, what do you say about Place Beyond the Pines?
I will give it a guess actually, and this is a very heavy movie. I watched it like I rewatched it like a few days ago to prepare for this. Like I forgot it gets heavy at points, like really heavy. Like, and apparently like it gets very heavy at the beginning when we're in conflict here and arguing with his ex-wife and his child along with that. So, and it's actually personally one of my 5 Bradley Cooper performances around it. So, and also, and Liotta is very good in the film along with it. Plays the sort of the corrupt police officer capable of bribe actor. They sort of over his house along with that, and it basically takes money and basically make raiders and basically paid it off basically. So I'll give a yes for Place Beyond the Pines.
Stephen, what do you say about Place Beyond the Pines?
What?
I thought you were thinking. That's all. I thought you.
Yeah. Oh, Blow made it, right? Because you didn't put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So now,
Yeah.
All right. There's enough spots. I'm a little bit more mixed on the movie, to be honest, than most people. But I liked it enough that I'll give it a tentative yes.
I haven't seen it. Ryan, what do you say about Place Beyond the Pines?
I haven't seen it too.
Richie, what do you say about Place Beyond the Pines?
He nominated it.
I nominated it.
He nominated it, so
yeah, but I believe that makes it anyway. I'm all over the place today, but anyway, Place Beyond the Pines makes this list. Jonathan, we go to you.
I think it's been long enough to skip this through this movie, so I think it might be the best way to bring this back up. Steven mentions there's another radio James Mangold movie, and I think we need to bring this up. This movie is Copland. Copland starring him and Sylvester Stallone, and what an excellent movie along with it. So, Liotta plays Stallone's police officer friend, basically, and basically charges around the small town throughout Jersey along with it, and basically put these basic cops along with it to cause some trouble along with it, and he plays a very much low complex character along with it, which not gonna go into some specific details what happened throughout the film for this character, like sort of the character what he does in the film. It sort of deals with not only grief about what happened, but also sort of like kind of unpredictable. It's like, well, you don't know what he's sort of going to do along with it. So I find it more fascinating as well. Not only Stallone's best acting roles along with Creed along with it, and this is actually one of my favorite crime cop films around the '90s. So I'll nominate Copland.
Stephen, what do you say about Copland?
Oh, it's definitely a yes. And the fact that he manages to stand out in a top flight cast. I mean, you've got Stallone, you've got Robert De Niro, Harvey Keitel, um,
Robert Patrick.
Peter Berg. Yeah, it's a huge cast, and he stands out because he's one of the more sympathetic characters in the movie, because he's actually on Stallone's side, and he and Stallone have a nice back and forth. Yeah, it's a great movie. It's definitely a yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Brian, what do you say about Copland?
I would give it a yes. I find he's very messy in the world, like, and I love how reunited with De Niro and they're back together in this film. And yes for Copland.
Richie, what do you say about Copland?
Yeah, again, this is one of the more easier yeses. I think, yeah, like again, like Steve said, it's a credit that he stands out like amongst the great cast he's with. But yeah, and I think we should have this on this list. Again, he thrives in crime dramas. It seems so. With that, so yeah, I'd say yes.
Stephen, what's your next nomination?
I'm kind of in between two. I'll go for the less. Wait, yeah, I don't know which one is the lesser of the two. No one's. I'll go with Unlawful Entry, where he plays kind of like this psychotic cop who's kind of terrorizing Kurt Russell, Madeline Stowe, and yeah, no, he's great. And one of the movies where he's the antagonist and he's great at it. So yeah, Unlawful Entry is solid, movie of its kind from the early to mid 90s.
Just to save my voice because I'm talking too much about these movies. Brian, what do you say about Unlawful Entry?
Haven't seen it.
Richie.
Yeah, I know about it. I probably will get to watch it soon, but yeah, haven't seen it, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it doesn't make the list. Jonathan, what would you have said?
Funny enough, I would say yes because I actually seen this movie for the record. I seen it but it's a very long time ago. I watched it sort of during Kurt Russell's films marathon a few years back, and this is one of them I did watch. It's a very good film, all with it, so I would have given it a yes.
Yeah. So for my next nomination, I'm going a little out of the box here. Whether or not you guys have seen it, I don't know, because as we were talking before, when it comes to our Amazon Prime and Netflix, we get some weird stuff on there. There's only 4 Ray Liotta movies on our Amazon Prime. 2 of them are directed by Hugh Bolt, which I'm not bringing up. One of them is called Powder Blue, which I didn't watch, but I did watch a movie called A Rumor of Angels. And this is it's a good drama movie. Basically, the story is like a 12-year-old boy lives with his father and his stepmother because he lost his mother earlier. Then the memories of the accident haunt him and he makes him freeze and all that. And he hasn't been able to talk. Then he plays a game with someone played by Vanessa Redgrave and breaks the fence. And Maddie demands that he fix it. And then they become friends and all that and tells of her experiences. And then, but it's a lot of fun. There's not a lot of noticeable people in here. Like you got Ray Liotta, Vanessa Redgrave, Ron Livingston, who you might know from Office Space. But yeah, there's not a lot of actually known people here. But A Rumor of Angels is what I'm going to bring up. Brian, what do you say about A Rumor of Angels?
I never even heard of the film. And whose notification popping up?
I don't know. But Richie, what do you say about A Rumor of Angels?
It is weird that how like our Amazon and and just any the the decisions they make of like putting movies on. Like out of all the movies of like Ray Liotta's filmography, that was one of the only ones that was on there. That's straight. And yeah, no, I didn't know this movie existed until I just looked it up. But you look, it looks intriguing, but I haven't seen it.
Jonathan, what do you say about A Rumor of Angels?
I never heard of it or seen it, so I'll pass on that.
And Stephen, what would you have said?
Well, the only reason why I've heard of it is because I was looking through his filmography on IMDb.
But Brian, we go to you. What is your next nomination?
I don't know how this will go, but I'm going to bring up Observe and Report. His role as this chief of police try to take over Seth Rogen's job as security for this case, and I love the chemistry between Rogen and Leo are pretty hilarious. So Observe and Report is my pick.
Richie, what do you say about Observe and Report?
Yeah, I've been on the record at another stream saying I'm not a fan of this movie. However, I watched it again recently for this, and while I still maintain I don't like the movie, Ray Liotta's good in it. He's great in it. I think he's a standout in an otherwise bad movie. So I will say yes.
Better or worse than Hubie Halloween?
It's better. Slightly better.
Jonathan, what do you say about Observe and Report?
I had the same thing with Richie, though. I like his performance. I don't like the movie all that much. Even though he's funny in the movie, I just don't feel like the rest of the film just doesn't. It just doesn't feel right when I watch it, though. And it was arguably maybe my Seth Rogen's lesser favorites of his, and also they lost to a kind of a superior another certain mall cop along with that. So at the same time, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's a parents were superior than Observe and Report, and I will give it enough for Observe and Report, even though he's actually funny in the movie.
Stephen, what do you say about Observe and Report?
So I know Austin has been championing someone bringing this movie up.
That's why I brought up.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to.
But I actually did look for it, but it's not available to stream in any of the services that I have, so I haven't seen it.
But yeah, I actually have seen this, and yeah, this is one of those movies that, once again, it just fell into the shadow of Paul Blart, and I think it's the better version of Paul Blart, if we're being honest. And yeah, I do like this enough, and I'm worried if we keep going through his filmography of the ones I haven't seen, we're going to end up having to nominate In the Name of a King and Dunwich Tale or B movie.
Oh, you got plenty of
space.
I mean, I'm talking about myself because I haven't seen a lot. But anyway, yeah. So I'm going to say yes to Observe and Report. So it does make this list.
There you go, Austin.
Hang on, hang on.
But Jonathan, Richie, what is your next nomination?
All right. Okay, I'll do that. I'm going to bring up a sort of lesser known movie from this director, but it's still very good, and I think he shines in crime stuff. I'm going to bring up from 2005, Guy Ritchie movie called Revolver. I think it's a decent film, and yeah, I think he's great in it. Like again, shines in crime films. It might be typecast, but there's a reason for that. So I'm going to break that. So I don't know if how many people have seen it, because it's one of his lesser known things in his filmography. But I'm sort of I'll champion it. So Revolver.
Jonathan, what do you say about Revolver?
I have seen the film. I thought it was good. Well, we're going pretty much going to deep end, given the nitty-gritty of his list. So, for that, I'll give it a yes for Revolver.
But Stephen, what do you say about Revolver?
I have seen it, and I didn't like it very much. I thought it just it's kind of dull, and I don't think it's one of. I don't think he's bad in the movie by any means, but I don't think it's one of his better performances.
Bless you.
But yeah, I just had to quickly double check because I've seen the Penelope Cruz movie titled Revolver, but it's not the same movie. I have not seen this one. Brian, what do you say about Revolver?
I have not heard of this film.
Jonathan, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
Bless you again. Okay. I'm gonna pick. Okay. All right. It's been long since we've seen this. I'm gonna go with 2002's Narc with him and Jason Patrick, and the reason why with him, like we can all agree, he sells and crime drama along with that, and when he plays this lieutenant, which very much during the sort of is unhinged right here, and basically just goes a little bit more insane along with it, try to fill out this mystery along with it, and when it go when the film progresses, it just gets more elevated, and elevated along with it, and basically throughout the climax of the film, it basically has enough along with that. So I will actually gonna go with Narc.
Stephen, what do you say about Narc?
That was actually going to be my next one that I was going to bring up. I think it's between this and Goodfellas as his best performance. So it's definitely a yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Brian, what do you say about Narc?
Yeah, I'll give it a yes. He works best with either dramas or crime, and it fits him perfectly in this role. So yes for me.
Richie, what would you have said about Narc?
We did.
You muted. Richie.
He didn't know himself.
I did a Steven. I was copying. I would have said haven't seen it.
Stephen, what is your next nomination? We've got one spot left.
You know what? I don't think anyone's seen that one, so I won't bring that one up. I'll go with Heartbreakers. It's a really fun comedy with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Gene Hackman's in it, and it's it's a really fun movie. He doesn't do a lot of comedies, but I think this is actually a pretty funny one.
Yeah, this is one I think I have seen a long time ago. I don't remember a lot about it, but and honestly, I was actually going to rewatch this before, but then I overslept and woke up a little bit later than I planned to. But I will give it a slight yes. Brian, what to say about Heartbreakers?
Haven't seen it.
Richie, what do you say about Heartbreakers?
Yeah, I remember it coming out, and I was intrigued by it, but I never got around to seeing it. So I was saying, never see it.
Jonathan, what do you say about Heartbreakers?
I only saw this terrible poster of it, and I just kind of skipped. So, no.
Unfortunately, Heartbreakers doesn't make this list. Brian, what is? No,
It's
it's
your
me.
turn.
It's you.
Yeah. I'm going to go for a Denzel movie called John Q. And this tells the story of John Quincy Archibald, who's a father and son who's diagnosed with an enlarged heart, and then he finds out he's unable to receive a transplant because insurance will not cover it. So he decides to hold up the hospital. This is one of those movies like it's been a long time since I've seen it, but according to Redbox, I've seen it. But but yeah, like I do remember Liotta in this movie. He plays a Chief Gas Monroe who sort of assists with the investigation and all that. And I think it's a lot of fun. And yeah, Brian, what do you say about John Q?
It's been a long time since I've seen it, so I don't remember that well. So I'll give it a no.
Richie, what do you say about John Q?
See, like if this wasn't like near the end, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know. There's one more film I want to bring up that I feel like, yeah, it's hard because John Q's a good movie. I will say no.
Jonathan, what do you say about John Q?
I thought this movie was fine what it is, so I'll give it a no. I felt like there were one or two more movies I think more worthy of that spot, so I'll give it a no.
So John Q doesn't make this list. Stephen, what would you have said?
I would have said yes. I like the movie a lot. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I do like it.
Brian, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
I'm going to pick up another quiet film of his, Smoking Aces. Even though he's a supporting role, but he works great with Ryan Reynolds in trying to help solve this murder or crime of Buddy Israel. And I'm going to bring this one up, Smoking Aces.
Richie, what do you say about Smoking Aces?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just. Maybe I'm just in the mind. I'm just not a fan of this movie, this film. I just think. Yeah. Like I got it. It's just like I didn't really see that. Like I was kind of like just. I don't know. More like kind of just. I just wasn't invested in the whole film. And I'm just. Yeah, it wasn't really my thing. So, while again, I feel like he probably shines in crime films. I'm not a fan of this particular film. So I'm gonna say no.
Jonathan, what do you say about Smoking Aces?
I actually enjoyed this movie. Actually, him and Ryan Reynolds were the better parts of that film for me. So I will give a yes to Smoking Aces.
Stephen, what do you say about Smoking Aces?
I'm probably gonna have to say no. I just found the movie to be very uneven. There's some really good scenes, and then some scenes that I didn't think were all that great. And I think Joe Carnahan has made some really good movies, but this is one of his lesser movies, I think.
Yeah, this is another one that I think I've seen once before, but unlike Heartbreakers, I actually don't remember Ray Liotta. I remember Ben Affleck vaguely in this, but I don't remember Ray Liotta in this. So I'm going to have to say no on this one. Richie, what is your next nomination?
All right, I'm gonna. If this doesn't go through, I don't know. And if it comes back to me again, I don't know what I'm gonna nominate. But I will. I'll do this because he does act as he does act his ass off of this with not even a brain. Anyway, it's Hannibal. I think he's good. I think Hannibal's good. It's like obviously not that's its issue, but I think Ray Liotta's performance sticks out. No pun intended, like his brain. Yeah, I think it's sort of worthy as the last spot in this list. I think it's one of the more memorable ones. So I will say Hannibal.
Jonathan, what do you say about Hannibal?
I'm between that one or something else. The weird thing is, like, the only part of the film I remember him when Hannibal had to eat his little brain out, basically, while he's still moving. So it was creepy as all hell. And besides that, I don't remember a lot from him in the film. Besides that, so I know it's not my options left. You know what? I'll test the rest of you guys to do it. So I'll give a tentatively no for the moment. Let's see what happens. Just gonna roll with it.
What do you say about Hannibal?
Yeah, I think it's an okay movie, but I did find it to be rather feel disjointed, like it's two movies in one. Because you have the early scenes with trying to remember the actor who plays the officer who in I forget what country it takes place in.
Is that Giancarlo
Yeah,
Giannini?
Giannini. Yeah, and I think honestly, I thought that part of the movie was actually better than the latter parts of the movie when Hannibal Lecter returns to the United States. And the ending is just weird and kind of funny, but because I mean, he's having Ray Liotta eat his own brains. Uh, Gross but funny.
Yeah, man, that's great. Yes.
Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna say no, but
yeah, when it comes to the Hannibal Lecter series, I've only seen Silence of the Lambs. So yeah. Brian, what do you say about Hannibal?
Yeah, this one I haven't seen either.
Oh man, and don't let it come back to me. I got no other options.
Um, Jonathan, what is your next nomination?
Okay, this one's maybe a Hail Mary, but this might be sort of a bit of a stretch. But you know what? This is gonna be my Hail Mary, and I'm gonna do this. I've only seen this movie once, and I didn't know this movie existed. And I also felt like it's a weird concept, but him in the movie, along with that, is like I kind of committed, to which I kind of respected it in some weird respect. I'm gonna go the mid-90s comedy drama, if you want to say that. Operation Dumbo Dropped, and him with Danny Glover. And I know it's a weird film, and look, Care for an Elephant from in the 60s, and it's kind of a weird way in it. I remember just on the poster of it, just like, why is this so weird? And I watched it one time to see how it was. I was like, oh, you know what? It's kind of way for everybody though, but at least they kind of sort of committed to the weird to sort of the joke along with it throughout transforming the elephants. So I'm gonna go Operation Dumbo Drop.
Stephen, what do you say about Operation Dumbo Drop?
I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid. I remember thinking it was not that great, so I'm gonna give it a no.
Yeah, I watched this for the first time the other day. I think this is a lot of fun. Like Ray Liotta's definitely having fun in this. And if the cast is weirdly stacked too, because you got Danny Glover, you got Ray Liotta, you got Dennis Leary, you've got Dougie Doug, you've got Cohen Nemec, you've got James Hong, and those are probably the only well-known ones. But yeah, I mean Cohen Nemec, you might know from I think it's start in one of the Stargate series. Yeah, Operation Dumbo was a lot of fun. I'm actually going to say yes. Brian, what do you say about Operation Dumbo Drop?
I'll give it. I haven't seen it. The only thing I heard about the film is that Family Guy parody did it about.
Richie, it falls on you. What do you say about Operation Dumbo Drop?
So you had a twist between Hannibal and Operation Dumbo Drop, and you no, I can't do it. I don't know what I'm gonna. I don't want it to come back to me, but this can't be the last one. There's got to be more out there. Don't know.
Well, give it a shot.
Hannibal wasn't available anywhere for me to stream legally. But I wanted to try and watch the ones that I could get to for free first. But anyway, Stephen, what is your next nomination?
Oh man. I only have two left that I really like, but I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if any of you guys have even seen these movies. So I'm gonna go with this movie called Crossing Over. About the world of illegal immigration, and it's got like Harrison Ford is in it, and it's you know uh, really strong cast. I forget what her name is. She was in Star Trek Into Darkness. But
Eve?
Alice Eve, yes. She's in it. And I think it's an excellent movie. Let's see if you guys have actually seen it.
I haven't seen it. Brian, what do you say about crossing over?
Haven't seen it.
Richie, what do you say about crossing over?
I haven't seen it.
Jonathan, what do you say about crossing over?
Next person.
It falls on me. They're in the segment on my radio list of movies that I'll bring up that, admittedly, not that good. And the first one I'm going to bring up is Wild Hogs. Look, look, once again, the movie itself is not good. I admit I rewatched this recently. Like it's fine. I enjoy it enough, but Ray Liotta's performance in this, I think, is really good. Like as the biker antagonist in this, and I think, and this is one that I think is really good. A lot of the movie, I mean, admittedly, a lot of this movie is probably overshined by Dr. Cox's Scrubs popping up every now and then. But yeah, I am going to bring up Wild Hogs. Brian, what do you say?
I'll give it a yes. I quite enjoy this film. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, and I like seeing him as a villain. I don't really see him play a villain that much. So yes for me.
Richie, what do you say about Wild Hogs?
Oh man, this is. I mean, Hannibal should have been the last one. I'm just gonna be honest. But like, look, it has its moments. It's not a good movie though. But then I don't want it to come back down to me because I don't know what the fuck I'm going to pick at this point. So I'd have to like assume Brian's got something that I'm like, okay, that's fair enough. But God damn it, I
Just say no.
Let's give it a yes, or we'll go back to you.
I'll say no. I have to. I can't.
Is it worse than Hubie Halloween though?
No, I guess not. But okay, I don't know.
Jonathan, what do you say about Wild Hogs?
I'll give it a no because I saw it once and I never want to see it ever again.
Stephen, what do you say about Wild Hogs?
I think it's a cute movie. I don't think it's a great movie for sure, but it's cute. There's one movie that there's one or two movies I have on here. Actually, three movies that I have on that I think are better. But I don't think anybody. Well, one of them you guys might have seen.
Well, give it a shot, please.
All right, you know what? Fine. I'll give it a no because I mean, there's something about having Wild Hogs in a top 12 Ray Liotta, even though I actually do enjoy it, does seem kind of wrong. But I'll give it a slight no.
I mean, we've got Hubie Halloween and Observant Reports, so
Yeah.
Brian, finding next nomination.
Do anyone like to think of have left on my list is his date night as the villain's mobster. That there would have left on my list I can bring up. So date night.
Richie, what do you say about Date Night?
See, I like the movie. I forgot he was in it. Look, but if I'm going through the list of other movies I haven't mentioned, like it's probably the better one. So I will say yes.
Jonathan, what do you say about Date Night?
No, it's more of a camera film. It's just not enough longer, so give it a pass.
Stephen, what do you say about Date Night?
This is interesting because I like Date Night actually, but I don't remember him in that movie at all. So because of that, I'm gonna have to say no.
Yeah, it's a no. It's basically a cameo. I had to quickly look that up when Brian said it because I also don't remember him in it, and apparently he's actually uncredited in this movie. So yeah,
Oh my God, it's coming to me. I don't know.
it's coming to you.
All right, there is one movie I've seen. He's in it. I'll give me a sec. Talk about yourself. Because I'm going to need a refreshment because I haven't seen this movie in ages. So I have to refresh myself. Sort of. All right. Well, yeah. Another. If we're speaking of like, well, I mean, there is a Hannibal tie in here. In 1980s, Jonathan Demme directed a comedy romance movie called Something Wild, and it's not a bad. From what I remember, it's not a bad movie. It's got Jeff Daniels and Melanie Griffith. Yeah, it's it's hard to I can't even properly explain the plot because it's been that long, but we got to that point where I'm sort of scraping the bottom of the barrel. But yeah, I don't know. I'll go to IMDb. Give me a sec. This is why you come back to me. Anyway, hang on. Just hold on. Anyway, cue the Jeopardy theme or something.
Future music.
So a free spirited woman kidnaps a yuppie for a weekend adventure, but quickly the fun quickly takes a dangerous turn when her ex-convict husband shows up. And no points of guessing who the ex-convict husband is. Of course, it's Ray Liotta. He always plays his character. But yeah, I do remember. Even though I have to look it up, it's not convincing. I've seen it. I do remember it's a fun movie. I haven't seen it in such a long time, but I had to scrape the bottom barrel. It's like, okay, which movies have I seen? Which movies did I kind of like? So, yeah, yeah. So I'll go with Something Wild from 1986.
Jonathan, what do you say about Something Wild?
Funny thing about it is, like, I actually heard about this movie and actually seen the film actually throughout Dumb and Dumber. Actually, like, there's a line of it kind of low key mentions his film along with it. So I looked and years back and I watched the film and I thought, oh, that's a charming movie, and I kind of forgot about he was in that film honestly. But actually, with that, I'll give it a yes on it. So we're basically in final tier range at this point. So I'll give it a yes for that.
Stephen, what do you say about Something Wild?
This is a movie that I really tried to look for, because if you look on a lot of people's lists of best Ray Liotta performances, this is on many people's lists, but it's not streaming anywhere, so I wasn't able to see it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Brian, what do you say about Something Wild?
Haven't seen it.
Oh my God.
Jonathan, what is your next nomination?
Okay, so to me again. All right. Oh, actually, I forgot about this one. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put a Hail Mary on this because you could make an argument he's not in the film all that much. Although, let's just say, sort of presence in the film helps sort of the story progresses when he's in there throughout the movie. I'll just leave it with that. I might get another laugh again, so I think we're right about at this point. We're gonna get one on the list. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. But I was like, we're gonna put this movie on there. I'll just say it. Although the rest of the panel is gonna use it. B movie. That's all I can say about it. Moving on.
Stephen, what do you say about B movie?
I've never seen it.
I like jazz. I just do not like B movie. Brian, what do you say about B movie?
I do like jazz, but it's not for me.
And Richie.
Oh my God! What are we actually going to pick though? I don't understand. What's the last actual movie going to be? Because no pun intended. B, get it? Yeah. It's a sad state of affairs that I might have said yes at this point, but I don't like the movie really that much at all. I think the movie is weird. I think the movie is bugged. It's just so bizarre. Like like I think there's a one scene where it's like they're in a busy hospital, and then like they clear out and they find a bed. They're overloaded, but they're able to find a bed for a bee, and
They put a bandage on it.
and there's honey in his IV drip. That's stupid. And then like the relationship between the bee and the woman is downright like kind of the romance. It's a bee. It's weird. It's so strange. And then like
Funny.
Patrick Warburton character is
The
like
only
finally
scene, the only sane person in that movie.
yeah, he is. Like, why is he going out with a? Yeah, he's getting attacked by a bee. Yeah. So look, I'll suggest that like I don't know what else to bring out with it. So yeah, whatever.
Stephen, what do you
Okay.
have? Do you have the one that's going to put us out of some misery?
Probably not, because again, you guys probably haven't seen this one. But it's been a while since I've seen this movie, but I thought it was really good. And it's called Battle in Seattle. And I just looked it up too. It's got a phenomenal cast. I mean, a stacked cast. Charlize Theron's in it. Woody Harrelson is in it. He plays the mayor of the city, and it's this huge riot that breaks out, and I think it's a really good movie. And so, yeah, you guys probably haven't seen it, but I'm going to bring it up anyways.
So to make this quick, has anyone seen Battle for Seattle?
Never
What
heard of
about
it.
I actually heard of it, but I hadn't seen it.
It's not going to make the list.
Oh my
right.
god. Come back down the
Right.
bee. I don't want to do.
But yeah, this is going to be another one that I have no idea how this is going to go. While I think the movie as a whole doesn't work, I think the segment that Ray Liotta is in is decent enough to warrant this to make this fill up the final spot. And I'm talking about a Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. But yeah, like Ray Liotta appears in the the main segment, which is A Dame to Kill For. He plays a character called Joey, and I think it's good enough that I think it's to put this on here. But yeah, Brian, what do you say about Sin City, A Dame to Kill For?
I'll give a yes to end the list. And even though he's not in the film that much, I still enjoy his performance.
Richie, what do you say about Sin City, A Dame to Kill For?
No, yeah, why not? There's like I'm trying to draw the barrel. Like the anyone I'm gonna bring up, I'm not even the one I was gonna bring up. I'm not even passionate about. And like I don't think it's one of the. So like I don't even know if I have any honorable mentions at this point. If I could mention everything, I'll like even though like the as far like the quality from the first movie is far it's dropped a lot. But I suppose you could have like he's decent in it. I'll say yes.
Jonathan, what do you say about Sin City, A Dame to Kill For?
Well, I'm not the biggest fan of the movie Dame to Kill For. The Dame to Kill segment in there is legit the best part of that film. Ava Green and Liotta in it. You know what? You're right. It might not be the best film, but if you would just put like just the Dame to Kill For segment on there, I'll give it a yes. So I'll give a yes by default. Just put a yes by default.
Stephen, it's make the list. What would you have said?
I would have said yes. I enjoyed this movie. It's nowhere near as good as the first one, but I still enjoyed it.
But with that, we have reached our 12 finally. Our 12 we have is Goodfellas, No Escape, Identity, Hubie Halloween, Field of Dreams, Marriage Story, Blow, A Place Beyond the Pine, Copland, Observe and Report, Narc, and Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. Does anyone have any honorable mentions?
I have one.
Jonathan.
I have one.
Okay, I have Actually, there was another movie. It was coming out also from last year, and I actually watched some bits of clips of it. So it's from No Sun Moon by Steven Soderbergh, and I heard it was a big cast along with him in it. So I see actually bits of clips of it. I had seen the whole film, so I thought maybe I would have brought that up.
Richard, what honorable mentions do you have?
It's a glorified cameo, but I was like getting to the bottom of the barrel at this point. It's probably the worst one of this thing, but Muppets from Space. I think
Same
I think
here.
Muppets from Space has its moment. It's not one. It's probably the least. Probably like my least favorable Muppet movie, but it's got its moments, and Ray Liotta's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also
I mean-
had the two Muppets as well. He was in Most Wanted and For Space.
Yeah, no, I was actually about to bring that up. I think like his role in Muppets Most Wanted is a little bit more than a cameo because I think that he's in it because you see that Gulag prison a lot more than what he appears in Muppets from Space. So
Yeah.
I mean, I do like Muppets Most Wanted. That would have been the next one I would have put up if Sin City of Dame Kilford didn't make this list. And some dishonorable mentions. Suddenly, directed by Yu Bowl is a piece of trash. And In the Name of a King and Dungeon's Tale is also by Yu Bowl and a piece of trash. Although I was considering rewatching that for this because just see if but anyway, yeah.
Well, I have a
Um,
couple too, actually.
Yeah, Steven, go ahead, Steven.
I didn't bring them up because I actually don't really remember him in it, to be honest. But I did like The Last Shot with Matthew Broderick and Alec Baldwin, and a movie called Kill the Messenger with Jeremy Renner.
But with that, we reached where we actually get to rank them. And just to recap what we have, on this list, we got Goodfellas, No Escape. Actually, I did recap that anyway.
Yeah, you did before the all mentions.
But some honorable mentions that we have in the comments by Leo Logan, Killing Them Softly, Turbulence, Article 99, The Iceman, Dominic and Eugene, and Kill the Messenger, as Stephen just said.
Turbulence is terrible. I also his role in Killing Them Softly is he's not in it that much, and he doesn't really do anything special in that, to be honest.
All right. Brian, what do you have for 12?
No Escape.
Richie.
Do you need to ask her? Hubie Halloween.
Jonathan.
Observe and report.
Stephen.
I normally don't go for movies that I haven't seen, but I don't think I need to have seen it to know that Hubie Halloween is the weakest of the 12.
Okay.
Observe and report. So, Brian, observe and report or Hubie Halloween at 12?
I'll go with Hubie Halloween. He's not in the film that much.
All right. Bless me. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Jonathan, what do you have for 11?
Observe and report.
Stephen.
Please be on the Pines.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Observe and report. Brian.
I still have No Escape.
Richie.
I said Sin City of Dame to Kill for.
But observe and report is going to be at 11.
I used to make the list though.
Where that's going to end up once the polls get there.
One of the consequences you say next time.
I will say JPO will probably be happy QB Halloween. Made it because I was talking to him about this the other day, and he agreed that like his performance in that is pretty good.
Even Chadwick too, he loves QB Halloween.
Alright.
Stephen, what do you have for 10?
I switched because I think I was fighting a lost cause. Sin City, A Dame to Kill For.
Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. Brian,
Still have no escape.
Richie,
Sin City, A Dame to Kill For.
and Jonathan.
Almost a sweep. A Sasuke the Game to Kill For.
Oh my god.
Like what?
I've got No Escape. Brian,
Same, no escape.
Richie,
No Escape.
Jonathan,
I wrote below.
Stephen,
I went back to Place Beyond the Pines.
but No
Okay.
Escape will be number 9.
You're not getting a place from the Pines beyond 5. Oh, I know that one.
You will allow that?
Or not. I'll let. Anyway.
Brian, what do you have for 8?
I went with dark.
Richie,
Narc.
Jonathan,
Below.
Stephen,
Yeah, all right, Mark.
nah.
All right.
I mean, even though people may judge us for having QB Observe and Sin City on there, at least they can't judge us if they made number 1. That's for sure.
I would
Yeah.
maybe I'll ask them like if you prefer those or Wild Hogs. Your call. That's my response to that.
Alexa, I thought Wild Hogs is a cute movie. I probably should have said yes to that one.
Yeah.
You should have.
I was on the fence. I should have said.
Are you?
Richie, what do you have for 7?
Blow.
Jonathan,
Below.
Stephen,
Hello?
Copland, Brian,
I went with Danny on this one.
but Blow is going to be 7. Jonathan, what do you have for 6? Just to recap what we've got left, we've got Goodfellas, Identity, Field of Dreams, Marriage Story, Place Beyond the Pines, and Copland. Jonathan, what do you have for 6?
A Pace Beyond the Pines.
Stephen,
No, don't do it, Stephen.
Place Beyond the Pines. Sorry, but I love the other 5 too much.
Copland, Brian, what do you have?
I went Marriage Story.
And Richie.
What? Copland. Hi.
So Brian, Place Beyond the Pines or Copland at 6?
I'll go with Copland on this one.
Yeah, how the hell? Thank you. Oh, you were about to say it. Oh man, I was worried.
So what? Does this mean the rivalry is over?
No stop, Steven. No
No,
stop.
no. I'll still beat Brian. Fuck.
You never will.
There's no rivalries on Rankin.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's in saying that. Hang on. What do you got? What do you got left?
Place Beyond the Pines, Field of Dreams, Marriage Story, Identity, and Goodfellas.
All right. I know. I'll do this. Actually, no. Yeah, I'm gonna. Probably.
Stephen, what do you have for 5?
I love the others too much, so I'm just gonna keep the Place Beyond the Pines.
Place Beyond the Pines, Brian,
Marriage Story.
Richie,
Identity.
Jonathan,
Marriage Story.
Richie, Marriage Story, or the Place Beyond the Pines?
That is bullshit. Anyway, yeah. Honestly, I guess at this point I'm gonna go. Fuck you, Steve. I'm gonna go Place Beyond the Pines.
Is it a or the Place Beyond the Pines?
Pretty sure it's yeah.
It's the Place Beyond the Pines.
Good on you. I had good. At least I've got it right on one of them and not the other. But anyway. So we've got Goodfellas, Identity, Field of Dreams, and Marriage Story left. I've got Marriage Story. Brian.
Marriage Story.
Richie.
Identity.
Jonathan.
Marriage Story.
And Stephen.
I swear I'm not doing this on purpose, Richie. Marriage Story.
Marriage Story is going to be 4.
Actually, I'm changing my mind.
So, Brian, what do you have for number 3?
Field of Dreams.
Richie, what do you have for number 3?
Field of Dreams.
Jonathan, what do you have for number 3?
Identity.
Stephen, what do you have for number 3?
Oh, I love this movie so much, but I know no one's going to go for Goodfellas, so Identity.
Identity.
Oh my god.
Right. There are 3. There were 2 more.
And now,
number 1.
and now instead of going for number 2, we're going straight to number 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit off topic, we mean to say this. I know Ray Liotta's final movie actually, and the title itself is very interesting. You know what's it called?
I did look at it. I don't remember.
Cocaine Bear.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Directed by Elizabeth Banks.
I heard you were
Richie-
Troy Day or something.
Richie, what do you have for number 1?
Goodfellas.
Jonathan.
Goodfellas.
Stephen.
Field of Dreams.
Goodfellas. Brian.
Goodfellas.
All right, we did it.
Just to recap our list, at number 12, we've got Hubie Halloween. At 11, we've got Observe and Report. At 10, we've got Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. At 9, we've got No Escape. At 8, we got Narc. At 7, we got Blow. At 6, we got Copland. At 5, we got The Place Beyond the Pines. At 4, we got Marriage Story. At 3, we got Identity. At 2, we got Field of Dreams. And number 1, we got Hubie Halloween. No, number 1 is Goodfellas. But that brings us to the end of another thing. I've got the poll up for next week's episode on Facebook. The topics is Steven Spielberg movies, Laura Dern movies, Jeff Goldblum movies, Sam Neill movies,
Jurassic Park.
or Bryce Dallas Howard movies. There's no connection between those actors, not at all. But
It's kind of funny though because Steven Spielberg didn't direct Jurassic World Dominion.
I know, but Colin Trevorrow, who doesn't have enough money, I threw Steven on because he did the first one. Initially, I had on my like when I've got all the plans for the topics for that following week, I initially put Chris Pratt, but we've already done Chris Pratt movies. So
How about this? How about top 10 Steven Spielberg produced films?
I'm not changing the poll.
I'm not changing it, but suggestion for the future. Just want to put that out there.
I mean, whether or not I do it, I don't know. It's one of those ones I get to go for produced movies. I just don't like doing that myself, just because yeah. Anyway,
What's the noble ones?
With that being said, Brian, where can people find you online?
Sure, you can find me on JPL's channel doing trivia, being witchy most of the time. But sometimes I'm reading here at Network, sometimes here. I got a debate career with Jonathan at 100 the Pixar exhibition match. Got a match against Kevin, another debate match. Sometimes on the Flying Con Network doing Pixar, such doing trivia, and sometimes I'm reading here at Network, and sometimes here.
Richie, where can people find you online?
Yeah, you can find me on here ranting about Hubie Halloween and how it I'm also on JP's channel a lot, just doing just general movie trivia and picks and lists, and sometimes wrestling trivia. Brian beats me quite a bit, but you know what I mean.
All the time.
I have beaten you before. Don't lie to the audience. Okay.
Sure.
I mean, you can't beat Richie all the time, especially if you don't show up.
You don't show up. Yeah, you didn't show up for your picks and list championship match.
I'll celebrate. Okay.
You flaker, but also it's about me, Brian. You can find me on the Movie Hero Network. I've got I'm doing a tier. We're doing a tier ranker on Tuesday. The road trip movies. There's a lot there, and the tournament fights of summer movies. Just movies in summer camp or summertime. So that should be fun. Other than that, I mean, I've also got something coming on the TMG, like it's sort of in the vein of an Australian quiz show called Hard Quiz, Papa West is hosting, so keep an eye out for that. Other than that, I'll be around, and yeah.
Did you forget the rest of your podcast?
Oh, God, thank you for keeping me on my toes. Yes, I do have I have a wrestling podcast with Jordan Owens and Jacob Barber called Lonely Mugs or Friday for me, but Thursday. And so I think that I think next week we're going to talk about the MJF promo, the fallout from that. Might recap Hell in a Cell, see what happens, and then Jordan Owens will have a list because he won the prediction contest, so he'll have some sort of list we're going to do maybe whether it's top 10 heels or whatever. But so it should be fun. Tune in for that. Thank you, Brian.
I mean, I know it's not going to happen on Hell in a Cell. Roman Reigns will defend his championship. That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. I'll leave the championship till
Good
next
last days.
Jonathan, what we can be find you online?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at jpet1098. You can find me on Facebook at Jonathan Peck. And kind of Brian mentioned it, like I'm going to be in part of the Pixar exhibition match, which I hope I will destroy you along with it when you, Brian, and Alejandro along with it. So basically, I could destroy you both. So that's sort of my heel promo, basically. To quote a wise man once said, "To infinity and beyond." To both of you will get destroyed. So that's my
We shall
promo.
see.
Stephen,
Sure. Also quote for another Pixar character. Sure.
Stephen, we can be find you online.
You
They don't know what to
can
talk. They don't want to hear.
Letterboxd
No, it's so good.
as Shepherd 82. All the various social medias like Twitter, Stephen A. Shepherd, Facebook, just put my name in, Instagram, Stephen Shepherd 82. I don't think I have anything going on this week. Occasionally, will also be on Jordan Owen's channel here, the Movie Hero Network. I'll be occasionally, but I don't think I have anything set for this week.
But yeah, you can find me on Take Three. I host Rankum every week. As I said, the poll's up for next week. I also host trivia on Full Metal. Next week we've got both Seinfeld happening and the Mummy trilogy. So both of those are happening. And yeah, until next time, keep listening shit.
And thanks to you, that's over now, and you've ruined that for me.